Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you for joining me today for a card making tutorial, this time for our Project Share project blog hop that we do on the first Saturday of each month. So that's myself, Jill, Jez and Heather that do that. So we also share weekly on a Thursday just over on our blogs and things. So our theme for this month's blog hop is Sale-a-bration. So we've got this beautiful, beautifully happy stamp set that I'm going to feature today in my video. And this is the card we're going to replicate. Okay, so Sale-a-bration is it's an annual event. It's going to run to the end of February, so we've got another few weeks just to get those products in, but these products are free with qualifying orders. So this is beautifully happy there, and this is free with a £90 order, or you can select it as a free item with a £90 order is what I should say. Okay, and as always, Stampin Up do give us some nice little suggestions on what we can do with that. But you'll see that there's a whole range of things. There's a really nice paper pack as well. That's also for a £90 order, but it is 12 by 12. Really nice generic patterns in lovely pastel colours, and then some other stamp sets. So they've got a watercolour stamp set for £45, some more great paper. Jess has done some lovely projects using this paper. It's very grungy, which is right up her street. A sentiment stamp set, some farmyard paper which coordinates with stuff in the annual catalogue. Dainty flowers, that's another very popular paper that I've seen. Certainly Jill's been using it. And again, 12 by 12 coordinates really nicely with some of the annual catalogue stuff. Lovely carrots and some cute little owls. Okay, so there's a fair old selection of things to choose from, and don't forget that we do have our joining offer on as well. So you can join again for a set amount, and you'll get free products, and you can opt to get a limited edition in colour preview boho blue mini embossing machine. So that's really cool. So there's loads of different options that we can do to join. So you can get the blue one or the white one, or you can just use join with the basic starter kit, I'm going to say, for £99. And then you'll get £170 worth of products. So you always get more product for yourself when you take advantage of any of our joining offers. All right, but at the moment you can also get mini cut and emboss machines for basically half price, which is essentially what it is. Okay, so that's Sale-a-bration until the qualifying orders until the end of the month. And we'll get on with the card today. Right, beautifully happy is it. So I've decided I'm going to use the watercolour pencils for this card today, rather than using blends and things. It just screams to be coloured in, this stamp set, in my opinion. We can leave it monochromatic, of course, but I just love this. So this is a pale papaya card base that I've used. Okay, and I've teamed it with Evening Evergreen for the layering. Okay, and then we're going to colour in. There isn't any coordinating watercolour pencils in those particular colours, but I think we've managed to work that out by using Granny Apple Green and Garden Green are what's going in the foliage, which will repeat. So all that's going to stay the same. I'm just going to change the colour of the flowers. These ones were Pumpkin Pie and Cajun Craze watercolour pencils. There are two sets in the catalogue, and I don't know which sets they come in, because I have mine just all together in one of these little tool caddy things. I think they're designed for like crochet hooks and things, but they're quite good for pencils and things. But I have mine all together, so I don't know which set is which. but it'll detail those in the catalogue. And then using the blender pens, you get those in a pack of 3, so and they're double-ended, which means actually you've got 6 pens in for the price of 3 if you like. And I generally use, a bit like blending brushes, I have an end for a colour group. So it just so happens that the same pen has got sort of reds and pinks and greens on the end, so it stains, but it doesn't carry over on your project. So if I just grab this piece of scrap, even though that's stained, it's not going to mark the paper at all. So whilst I do keep them as sort of coloured ones, if you know what I mean, there isn't any carryover, so you don't have to worry about that too much. So for the project we're going to do today, the card we're going to do today, I've buried my layers underneath stuff. I'm going to pull out another one of the ink colours in that particular group, which is Fresh Freesia. Isn't this a gorgeous colour? Sticking with Evening Evergreen and using what I call mini layers. So that mini layer, they're basically an inch shorter and narrower than their companion layers. Okay, so we don't have a full cardstock layer, but so this one is 3 1/8 by 3 7/8. No, 4 7/8 because it's 5, yeah. And then this one's 3 by 3 3/4. 4 3/4. It's an inch shorter than my card. Okay, we're going to stamp on this, and because we're using a water-based product, we need to use a water-resistant ink. So Stampin' Up! Carry stays on. So if you don't have a water-resistant ink, then stays on is the one that you want to pick from the ink pads that Stampin' Up! Carry. I just happen to have something else that I've had in my stash for years and years, so I've just used that. And we're going to position that down where we want it on that layer, which is perfect. So I'm just stamping that at a bit of an angle, just because I can, really. So there we go. Nice firm pressure, and it's a really, really beautiful stamp. Okay, hasn't that come out really, really nice? I should say that the set comes with stamps to sort of stamp, like a 2-step stamp basically, so we can colour it in using stamps. But like I say, I've opted to do with the watercolour pencils. I really like this little individual flower as well. I think that's really cute. So now we've got that, we can just make sure that's absolutely dry. And in fact, while that is drying, I'm going to take a scrap of cardstock and use Evening Evergreen ink, which has gone walkies. No, I'll put it away, that's what I do. Right, welcome back. My video stopped recording, so I think we left off at we have stamped our image and we were allowing it to dry, and we were just going to stamp our sentiment in Evening Evergreen ink, which is really nice. It's one of the in colours, which is kind of sad in that it will be retiring. In fact, it'll be retiring in 2023, so but it's a really lovely neutralish kind of colour, a bit like early espresso and night of navy. Really, really nice for sentiments. And then the other thing I really love is this dual oval punch. I love this. So doesn't matter if your sentiment stamp's a little bit scuffy, because if you're going to punch it out or die cut it out even, you just line up your tool over the top and then it'll be magic. So you don't need to worry about trying to get your sentiments straight. And you may have noticed, if you watch my videos regularly, I very rarely stamp directly onto cardstock, precisely for this reason, so that you've got that opportunity to correct things and make them as straight as possible. So that's ready to go when we're ready. So our colours that we're going to use for our foliage to colour in these are Granny Apple Green and Garden Green. Okay, so like I say, there are 2 sets of pencils available, but I couldn't tell you which set each of these comes in, but they are detailed in the catalogue, so just have a look in there and do that. So just realised I should be using the darker colour first. So I'm going to pop in the darker colour, which in this case is the garden green, and we're just sort of going over areas where we want more of the colour to appear, so a bit like when we're putting down our darker shading with a marker, just sort of looking for those bits that are hidden along the veins of each leaf, sort of down the centre here. But there's no need to overthink it, just go along the veins of the leaves and you'll probably be that'll probably be sufficient. So, you know, don't worry about light and dark and overthinking things, just pop it down over the line art, and then I'm just going to put a little bit sort of next to it, if you like, of the Granny Apple Green, maybe a little bit over here where there isn't any. No right or wrong, I promise, honest. Okay. I'll hold this up to the, probably can't see a great deal from up there, but kind of get the idea. So there is white space there and stuff. Okay, so then we're going to take our blender pen. Okay, so this is a water-based product, and this will almost it's like it melts the colour and fades away those lines, and obviously the 2 colours will mix a little. Now this is regular, almost called it Whisper White then, basic white. It's not watercolour cardstock. So it will happily take this blender pen moisture, as long as you don't like start scribbling over it a number of times. Okay, so you don't want to overdo it. If you want to do a little bit more blending, use the Fluid 100 paper. You can also do this with an actual paintbrush if you want. Now these larger leaves, I'm actually going to start blending in from the outside in, just to sort of, I don't want to grab all the dark colour out to the edges, I want that gradient to stay. And then we'll just go over that centre part and just make sure we've got it all blended. But it'll give you like this mottled look, I think, which is slightly different. Okay, but again, you don't want to overwork it and peel your cardstock. Okay, so again, we'll go around the edges here, pull out that lighter ink, and then go lighter pencil I should say. Then we'll just work that centre portion a little, just to blend the 2 together. Okay, if you feel like you're picking up and moving excess pigment, just wipe it on the back of your hand or a scrap piece of paper. It's not going to hurt you. Obviously, if you do have delicate skin and you're prone to reactions or something, that might not be a good idea. So use a scrap piece of paper. I'm tough, me. So just gently going over those areas. Like I say, not to overwork it. And this one's turned out with this sort of section here is a little darker with the garden green, but I actually quite like it. Bit of variation. Nature isn't, you know, you don't get that. Nothing's perfect, is it? In the true sense of the word. So we're going to have variation in it. So that one's ended up quite pale at the ends there, but that's fine. So I hope that gives you a little idea. It dries dead quick as well. It sort of soaks in, so it doesn't take any time to dry at all. Okay, so we're going to do something similar with the flowers. And for this I've got Rich Raspberry and Flirty Flamingo. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that these come from 2 different sets because the typing is different, and Flirty Flamingo was a introduced colour at the last colour refresh, so I'm pretty sure that that's set 2 and that's set 1. So what do they look like? Got Granny Apple was a newer colour as well, but I think it might have come in before, yeah, so I don't know, but it'll say in the catalogue. Yeah, Granny Apple, yeah, it has got the thicker font. So I think Granny Apple and Flirty were probably in set 2, whereas Garden Green and Rich Raz were probably in set 1. So I've been with Stampin' Up for a long time now, so I've seen quite a few colours sort of come and go. So I think I remember the first colour refresh was at we were at a live event, and I think it was, I want to say it was Amsterdam. Oh, don't know. But it was for the 30th anniversary, which was like 30 years ago, so it's 35th anniversary today. And I remember the horror that we had a colour called Soft Sky. I think most people were like, oh, Soft Sky. And a chocolate chip, that was another one that went that year, and Elegant Eggplant. What were the others? Can't remember. But we had some really great replacements. So that it saw Flirty Flamingo come back, which was an in colour that I was familiar with, and then Poppy Parade apparently was an in colour, but that must have been before my time. And then we had Blackberry Bliss, so that was another one that I had as an in colour that came back, which I was very pleased about. And then we had a brand new Soft Sea Foam. And oh, Mint Macaron came back as well. I remember that being an in colour, and at the time I didn't like it, but it's definitely grown on me. I was just looking at it up at my my ink pad storage. Just have a little look there. It's funny how you almost forget about those old colours until someone goes, "Oh, do you remember such and such?" And you go, "Oh my goodness, yeah." So I've had some really amazing colours that have come and gone. So again, like I did with the foliage, I'm just popping in some of the lighter colour. These ones are quite similar actually, in terms of the actual pencil going down. That's fine. And just like we did before, we're going to pull in that colour and try not to sort of obliterate that shading. That we've created with the pencil. Okay, just going easy. Not to overwork your paper. Let's do this one. Go all quiet when I'm colouring. Didn't add any colour to the stem. Don't think it particularly needs it. Just working our way around here. Just had a thought as well. If you haven't got a water resistant ink, the other way you can get round the ink bleeding is to actually put clear embossing powder over it. So that's another option for you. Obviously the embossing powder will protect it and stop it from running. Okay, let's pop all those to one side for a sec. Right, and that's what we've got now. Now we could put some wink over that if you wanted. We've got a wink handy. Yeah. Let's put a bit of wink on there as well. Just to give it, you know, some petals just sort of have that kind of sheen to them, don't they? So there we go. Just a little hint of it. It probably won't even pick up on the camera, to be honest. But just a little hint of it here and there. Okay, all right. So that's that, and then what we're just going to pop a couple of these little dots here and there. I'm just going to yeah, that'll do. I've got so many little scraps of paper around because I just use it and use it and use it until it becomes a bit of a, so excuse the scrappy paper, but I'm going to use this sort of speckly thing just to fill in a little bit here and there and around the bazaars. Let's put that one there. Bearing in mind I'm going to be putting some ribbon and a sentiment across the middle. So normally I'd end up trying to get a 5 on there, but I don't think that's particularly necessary for this one. It just adds a little bit of something to the background before we get that mounted up, which we can do now. So just bring in our evening evergreen layer there, and our Stampin' Seal, which is my adhesive of choice. Just a couple of strips of that on there, and just line it up. If you get these 3 edges done and even, just eyeball them and then lay it down carefully. You should end up with a nice even border. So I'm going to bring in the this is the Fresh Freesia Open Weave in colour ribbon. Okay, so that was obviously I used the Palpapaya one on there. It's exactly the same. So we always get a set of ribbons in the in colours. So they're really cool as well because you know, obviously the colours only last a couple of years. So you get a great long reel of these things, and that's plenty to last. So this one now I'll give you a little bit of a confession in that that placement of that sentiment was because there was a little bit of a boo-boo that I wanted to cover up, and I feel like it's a bit high and covering up that main flower a little bit. So what I want to do is sort of bring this down a little bit and have it more like there, which means that ribbon needs to come down a little bit more as well. Okay, so you just want to make sure that's in your place. And now I've cut off way more than I actually need, but like I say, you get a butt ton of this stuff. Now, do you think I can get away with doing a bow, do you reckon? As I have got excess amount of ribbon cut off there, rather than wasting it. Ooh, gosh, blimey neck, that was good. There we go, that'll do. It's a bit flouncy. I'm yet to master how you get these tails to sit the way you think they should sit, if you know what I mean. Oh, but that's what sort of worked. There we go. Let's just give that a really good pull. That's bent the card a little bit, but it will flatten out when I stick it down. Oh, cool. Okay, right. Quite like that. There we go. And obviously we'll need to cut off those excess ends there. So that's it. Cool. There's loads. I've watched so many other demos doing ribbons, and I don't know. I always use the cop out. It's because I'm trying to copy right-handed people and I can't do it. So there we go. That was cool. That's cool. Right, that's going to pop onto our card base then. So that's still going to go flat with some Stampin' Seal. Just going to put plenty on just to make sure that that sticks nice and flat. And again, if you I find it easier to turn it sideways so I can sort of see the top and bottom edges a little better because they're closer together, and make sure that that's done. And then before you really press it down, just check the top. Yep. Okay, that's that. And then this just goes on with a couple of dimensionals. So what I've actually done with this was these little edge strips on here, just cut into those a little bit, and then you can pop that sort of towards the top edge and the bottom edge of your oval, which means it will come into contact more with the cardstock as it sits over the ribbon, if that makes sense. It's not so that they stick better. And just to be sure, I just pop just a smidge of wet glue over the top of those, which will give us a really nice strong bond with that adhesive. So I'm going to tuck that into there, centre it up on that ribbon, and that knot's going to sort of, you know, it sort of gives it some. Not having much luck with the camera today, so I hope you saw me. I've added the sentiment there, making sure it goes over that ribbon nicely, and I just did that with a couple of dimensional bits and pieces there. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that video and using a different medium for a change, that with the watercolour pencils and our in colours in the main for the body of those cards. So yeah, all the links to the other blogs are going to be in the description, so if you pop along to my blog, there's a link in the description. There'll be all the other ladies' links in there as well. So do have a smooch around those. There will probably, oh, I don't think I blended out those things. There will probably be videos from those guys as well coming soon. So if not today, some point in the week. So do keep a lookout for those too. And please do like, subscribe, comment, and share them with your friends. We always love to have new followers. Thanks ever so much for joining me today. Hope you've enjoyed what I've created. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.